All right, coming up on Chicago Bears Now, Bears fans get good and bad news on the injury front based on the initial injury report. We break that down. Plus, Ben Johnson is going to make some changes, I think, for week 2. Let's discuss. I'm Harrison Graham. We got some injury updates for both the Bears and the Lions as we turn the page to Detroit. So let's go ahead and jump on into it here. You take a look at the Bears injury report. Kyler Gordon did not practice. Now, it was a walkthrough yesterday, so these are injury estimations, but they're typically pretty accurate as he's dealing with the hamstring injury. More on him in a minute. Grady Jarrett, that's a new addition, DNP with a knee. Roschon Johnson limited with the foot, so could be trending upward. Jahdae Walker with an ankle, so we'll see what's happening there. TJ Edwards, who did not play in the opener, limited with the hamstring. Josh Blackwell limited with the groin. DJ Moore limited or a full participant with the groin, and then Jaylon Johnson, a full participant with the groin, also being labeled with a calf as well. That's a good sign that he's trending toward playing. I mean, he went through a full workout before Monday Night Football. Seemed like he was close. But did not play against the Vikings. Hopefully, he now is just going to stack enough practices and reps and get his conditioning up to a level where it needs to be so he can play in week 2. That would certainly provide a lift. Good to see Nahshon Wright not on the injury report either. Sounds like he is just fine. TJ Edwards trending up as he did not practice at all last week, did do a little bit of a workout before the game on Monday night. He was limited, so, we'll see what the injury report shows later this afternoon into the evening. But if he's able to do more this week, hopefully he can give it a go on Sunday. Kyler Gordon still a DNP. Is that a sign he's still out? He told the media that on Sunday, he started to feel his hamstring tighten up. So, did he strain it and just didn't realize he strained it in a practice late last week? Typically, a hamstring strain, even a grade 1, you're going to miss a couple of weeks. So, if that's what happened, I would not expect him to play this weekend. So, we'll see what happens there. But that obviously is not ideal. And then obviously we don't really know what's going on with Grady Jarrett. I don't know if he got banged up in the game and I missed it. That was not a talking point. Ben Johnson said after that game that there were no new injuries to report. So I don't know. Did he wake up yesterday and feel something? Obviously he's an older player. He tore his ACL a few years ago. So, maybe it's knee soreness. Maybe it's just kind of a veteran rest day or something like that. But typically those would be labeled with rest, not with a specific body part. So he's definitely a name to monitor both today and tomorrow on the next couple of injury reports. All right, we're trying to get to 130,000 subscribers. All you got to do is subscribe. It is 100% free. We are dropping Bears content on the daily here on Chicago Bears Now, so hit that subscribe button. We'll also be live this afternoon, probably our normal time, 4 o'clock Central Time, so turn on those notifications so you know exactly when we go live. Okay, the Lions injury report. Couple of interesting DNPs from Wednesday. Jack Campbell dealing with an ankle injury. I saw someone tweet, too, and we'll get to this in a second, that he's maybe never been on an injury report, so that's notable. Taylor Decker dealing with the shoulder, did not practice. Sione Vaki was limited with a hamstring. Trevor Nowalski dealing with an elbow injury. He was limited. And then Terry and Arnold, Daniel Thomas, a couple of DBs were full participants, but they were listed on the injury report. Taylor Decker did talk to the media yesterday saying it's something he's managing and that he is hoping to play. So, he's an older player. I would guess he probably practices in some capacity today. So something to keep a close eye on there. And then here was Russell Brown saying that this is the first time that Jack Campbell has appeared on the injury report in his Lions career, so worth monitoring there. And obviously, either him or Decker, those would be notable losses. I mean, Campbell's an excellent linebacker. Decker is their left tackle, and with their interior offensive line struggling in the opener, If you're also down your left tackle, or if he's limited in that game, an opportunity for the Bears defensive line to make some hay, especially coming off a solid performance from Dio Adengbo. Okay, we'll get to something Ben Johnson said in just a minute, but first, I want to tell you about today's sponsor, Prize Picks. Today's show is brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Football is back and better than ever, and I'm firing off Prize Picks lineups every single week. It's very easy to play Prize Picks if you just pick more or less on stat projections on 2 to 6 player lineups. If you get your lineup right, you can win up to 2,000 times your money. For week 2, Prize Picks is offering a max discount on Travis Kelce, more than half a receiving yard. I've paired that with Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt's more than 41.5 rushing yards, $20 entry to win $60. Of note, max discount plays can only be used once per user, so you can't use that Kelce play on 10 different lineups. So pick carefully when you want to use it. Prize Picks also invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Okay, are we going to get more Monangai in week 2? Ben Johnson was asked why Kyle Monangai, after being labeled as a player that he trusts, had 0 carries against the Vikings in week 1. Here's what Johnson had to say. He said, I need to call more runs. We were probably at under 20 called runs for the game. I need to call more so we can get him in the game more. That's something Eric Bieniemy, and I have talked about. Just make sure he has more carries moving forward. And this was something that stood out to me in that game. Like, I thought he was going to have a role, especially early on when he caught a pass for a first down. I was like, okay, like on the first drive, he's out there being involved. And then he had 0 carries. DJ Moore had 3 carries just on normal handoffs. DeAndre Swift had 17. Caleb Williams led the team in rushing for 58 yards on 6 carries. But your 2 other runners of Swift and Moore averaged 3.1 and 2.7 yards per carry, respectively. That is not going to cut it. Caleb Williams can't be your best runner. Now, quarterbacks, when they do run, they're going to average more yards per carry, but he can't lead the team in rushing with 58 yards. Like, that's just not going to work. The Bears were the least effective rushing team in the NFL in week 1. A big part of Ben Johnson's offensive success in Detroit was to be balanced and to run the football. If they can't do that, I'm still a believer in Caleb Williams, but he's not ready to carry this thing. Like, you need to be able to run the football and be balanced. So I would give Monangai a look this week, see if he can bring a physical in between the tackles presence when it comes to running the football and the running game in general. So hopefully we do see more of that. Sounds like we will. If you're excited to see more of Kyle Monangai, type me down in the comment section below. I think it'll be good to see the Rook and see what he can do in this game. Not saying you just give him 20 carries. I mean, I still expect Swift to be the featured back, but if he's ineffective, or even if he is, give Monangai a look. I think he was active for a reason, and I thought it was a missed opportunity. I think just to kind of recap all of this, the Bears need to stay with the running game. I think that is where Kevin O'Connell did a better job in that week 1 game. They were not running the football very effectively at all. But what did he do? He kept going back to it. He stuck with it late in the third, fourth quarter. It was starting to pay off. You saw Jordan Mason start to kind of wear down on the defense. And it felt like, and Ben kind of alluded to this by saying he needs to call more runs, it felt like the Bears kind of just abandoned it. And, sometimes you got to stick with it. Those 2-yard runs can turn into 5-yard runs later in the game. So I would imagine that is more of an emphasis in this upcoming football game. All right, just a little other side piece of news that impacts the Bears. Todd Archer, Cowboys ESPN reporter, reported yesterday that the Cowboys could be without cornerback Daron Bland, who recently just got paid, for a couple of weeks because of a right foot injury suffered in Monday's practice. And why is that important for the Bears? Because the Bears host the Cowboys in week 3, a.k.a. next week at Soldier Field. So that could be a little bit of a break in terms of the scheduling for the Bears, that they're not having to deal with one of Dallas's top corners. We'll see if that is indeed the case. Couple of weeks, you would think that probably means he misses at least 2 games, which would, of course, include next week against the Bears. All right, that's going to do it for Chicago Bears Now. Thanks to everybody for tuning in to this episode. My name is Harrison Graham. Subscribe and join us later this afternoon at 4 o'clock Central Time.